if you've been a chicken keeper for a very long time, you understand that chickens cost money, plain and simple. Having these beautiful girls back here behind me, it's not cheap all the time, okay? People get this idea of I'm gonna have my own chickens and it's gonna be wonderful. I'm gonna go have my own eggs and I'm gonna get free eggs. There's no such thing as free eggs unless you're getting them from me and not paying me for them. But like, it costs money, and people who have chickens or have been started in chickens for a little bit are well aware that there's several costs to having chickens. I mean, first, you have to get your coop, right? Build your coop, which luckily this was a 10 by 10 storage shed that was here when we bought the house and we just converted it. But you need to get a coop, build your run out, get bedding and everything, buy your chickens. You have to, get your equipment, which meaning like your feeders and waterers, and buy feed for them. And, if you're getting them as babies, you gotta buy a brooder, get a brooder set up. It just costs money, and that's okay. All right, that's okay that it does. So people like have this joke, when they get their first egg, hey, I got my first egg and it only cost me $5,000 or whatever. It's an inflated cost, okay, but it does tend to cost, and you feel like it's costing you a whole lot for eggs at the time. And then there's cost of, like in the winter time, you're not really getting eggs that much, and you still have to feed them, so there's cost there, right? And depends on how much your feed cost that's your cost will vary. Like we use a high-end premium feed that we felt forced to go to because our chickens weren't as healthy as they needed to be, and so this feed, New Country Organics, is a lot better feed, and our chickens are far healthier for it. Healthier chickens means more eggs, better eggs, and not having to replace chickens as often, honestly. So there's all kinds of costs involved with that, and the cost will vary, and then it costs your time. Everybody's well aware that it takes time to raise them raise healthy birds, and it takes time to check on them and make sure they're okay. And it depends, and again, that's how much time you want to put into it. Angela Kay is here during the day most of the time, and so she spends a lot of time going in and out and just being around them, checking on them, make sure they're okay. And another cost would be first aid if you have to use first aid. Okay, that costs money to buy the first aid stuff. These things, it's a lot of input for eggs, right? And then maybe also cost your emotions. We just buried 2 chickens this past week. One of them was 7 years old, never laid an egg. Okay, she's gone. She was old. The other one was 9 years old, and was one of the main, reasons why we started using New Country Organics, because when she was 5 or 6 years old, she wasn't very healthy and she looked like she was going to die. We switched feeds, and all of a sudden, poof, rejuvenation. Her eggs got better. She got better. She looked better, and she lived to 9 years old. Okay, she lived to be 9 years old and started laying better eggs and more often, and she was still laying eggs earlier in this year. And then she's 9 years old. She just got old and died. Right, basically her body just stopped working and she died. And that one was very sad. She'd been with us for a long time and she had a great personality, so it was sad for that one to go. The other one, she didn't have much personality and she had never laid an egg in her life. She was just living out her life here, eating and being in the way, and wasn't even very nice. But it costs your emotions and it costs some things, and it was very sad, but it's okay. She's gone, move along. It's just a chicken, right? But like, you do kind of get wrapped up with them sometimes if you love your chickens and get addicted to them the way we do. So we'll say that is a hidden cost. You don't realize maybe you're going to love these chickens the way you do. I didn't realize I was going to love them the way I did. I knew I was going to love having chickens, but I didn't realize they were going to have the personalities and the be able to communicate in a way, with me and understand and get as dependent on me as they are, right? They follow me and Angela around looking like this: feed, food, feed, water. Hey, take care of me. Hey. We've got little children out here in this coop. Don't tell nobody, you might call social services on us, and we don't have children. But there's another cost that occurred to us after we had chickens for a year or two. I'm not sure how long it was, but we had chickens for a couple of years. We have our insurance, homeowners and vehicle insurance is through Progressive. Okay, done fine, that's no big deal. But homeowners insurance, they kind of contract that out to somebody, and that company, I don't know who it was, some small company, who knows what it was, but they were stopped doing business with Progressive. So Progressive said, okay, we're going to have to switch insurances again, and so they were whoever it was, they were contracting us too, basically, had called us up and were like asking us the questions, say, what do you have here? Do you have this? Do you have this? You know, do you have any vicious dogs? Is what they said. We don't have any dogs. So me being myself, well, I ain't got no dogs, but I got 20 chickens. What? Wait, you got chickens? Sir, did you say you have chickens? Or are they outside in the coop? Yeah. Are they... Yeah. We have chickens. It's not uncommon, you know. We want egg. I like having delicious eggs. We have chickens, right? And I said, oh, we... See? Even Baby Jane knows it. Excuse me for a moment. But he said, we don't insure people who have chickens. So what? So that was a problem. They didn't. It was a hidden cost. We didn't understand that was going to affect our insurance. Just chickens in the backyard. What's the problem here, right? And so the Progressive guy was like, okay, hang on a second, we got to figure this out. And so they had to do some figuring to find somebody that would insure us because we had backyard chickens. I was shocked. Now, granted, I wasn't trying to, you know, dox myself and put forth information that I didn't need to put forth. You know, you're a homeowner, you understand how it's going, right? So I didn't realize that was a problem. If I realized that was a problem, I may not have said anything, just be honest with you. Well, you didn't ask if I had chickens, right? But, I mean, who would have thought it, honestly? So that became an issue. He had to call around, and now we'd already put forth information they weren't asking about, and they had to call around and find somebody that would insure us because we had chickens. Now the people who did, I think came up here from Kentucky, maybe, I'm not sure, and they were fine because it was livestock insurance, it was farm insurance at that point, and so we did all that, and they were cool with it, and they insured whoever, but they also did farm insurance, and so that's what they had to do, was give us farm insurance essentially. But now, granted, it's maybe not be a bad thing that we had insurance for them, because if something happened, this thing shouldn't be catching fire. There's nothing, unless it got struck by lightning, there's no electricity ran into it. But, you know, if storm damage or whatever, because we have had a massive, 30-foot long tree limb fall out of this tree right here onto the coop, 8 years ago, maybe 7-8 years ago. And so they didn't harm the chickens, but I mean, you see the repair job up there, right? When something happened and the chickens got killed, they would pay for it now, so that's cool. They also pay for the coop, so that's a good thing that we had it, but it did cost us some extra dollars. I think maybe a couple hundred. I'm not sure how much more our premiums were after that. A couple more $100 every 6 months, maybe. I don't recall, but that is a hidden cost. There's several costs there that you see, that you understand that's what you're getting yourself into. But that was one that shocked us, and may shock you. I mean, that was totally didn't think about it. So maybe you don't want to put forth information to your insurance company, or maybe you do want to put forth the information. Depends on how you want to look at it. But that is a cost that you may not know that you're getting into when you get chickens. I certainly didn't know it. I'm not sure I've ever heard anybody talk about having to pay higher insurance because of that. But just be aware, that is a hidden cost of having these chickens, which is already a little bit of cost to them as it is. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.